This video is made for adult collectors because, you know, I bought that Lego Green Dragon that just came out, and I don't really like it that much. I was expecting it to be bigger. Oh well. So we have a new Night Optimus Prime coming out. Studio Series is finally dropping an Age of the Extinction Optimus, and seeing them talk about it made me want to bust out all the other official versions of this mold I own. In this video, we're going to be looking at all the generations-oriented versions of the design leading up to the release of the new Studio Series. This will not be including one-steps, smash changers, flip changers, etc. More so focusing on the stuff that's oriented at both kids and collectors. And before I go any further, this video is brought to you by Try Treats. Try Treats is a snack subscription box service that delivers snacks from a country once a month to your door. They change the country every month, so you get a different one every time. They sent a box over for me to try, and of course I can't try them because of my food allergies, but my dad's always willing to do it, so here's him. Can you not get in them?
No, I did.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. These are the barbecue chips.
What? They're extra barbecue.
Extra barbecue. I'll finish these off later for sure.
I'm assuming by the handfuls they're good. If you can open it.
What's this coffee though?
No, just eat it. As long as it got no fish in it, you're good.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I knew that was gonna happen.
It's a hard candy.
You like it?
It's like a bit of a coffee crisp type flavor.
So yeah, if you want to go check them out, links in the description down below, and if you use code THATTOYGUY, you can save 15% off your first box. So thank you very much, Try Treats, for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the actual toy. Back in 2014, we had Age of Extinction, one of the movies of all time, that's for sure. But it debuted with this new design for Optimus that was not very toy friendly. Back in the day, Hasbro had a lot of trouble making this into a toy that was both fun and accurate, and they still struggle because there are no truck parts on this robot at all. Third parties have managed to get them to look right, but they, in my experience, are either super expensive or really fiddly to transform, bordering on breaking at times because of how complex they'll be, which is why I am not going to be including any third party in this video either. But here we have first edition, retail leader class, Voyager class, the same leader again but in different colors, and then this weird ass Corvette one. There are plenty of redecos of this mold, but these are the ones I have and I ain't buying any more. Hell no. So starting off with first edition, I have my attachments to this mold, but it's not fantastic. Being the first toy for Age of Extinction, because it was a preview figure of sorts, it wasn't the strongest introduction to the toy line. Lots of nice shiny chrome, but it's super inconsistent around the limbs that it feels weird. Not to mention it's Age of Extinction plastic, so it already doesn't physically feel the greatest. He came with the concept art chest, feet, sword, head, and probably other parts, as most movie toys that come out when the movie is releasing, or in this case before, is based on concept art. It's big though, like properly big, because that entire truck towers over his head on his back. Articulation is somewhat modern with things like full elbow bends and ankle tilts, but it lacks a waist or wrists. Not to mention the backpack and the small feet make balancing him a bit tricky. He also doesn't have 5mm ports. They're like 6 or 6.5mm or something like that. Transformation was okay. It's the biggest definition of a shell former, but it works well for what they were given at the time. He sort of just comes apart and folds up while the truck wraps around him to make this slightly out of proportion truck, but it's a really big version of this truck. I think it's the biggest one officially, but don't quote me on that. The weapons can store somewhat gracefully with the sword underneath and the shield that's just plonked on the back. Note this is the non-Amazon exclusive one, so it comes without the silver paint on the weapons. But then we got the proper Age of Extinction leader class. This thing was a very interesting talking point when it released. First being shown off like this. That didn't get the best first impressions. And then when it came out, we all discovered, thanks to Bolt Matrix, that his head just likes to projectile off. All right, let's see if we can get it to do the do. So, oh, there it goes. This is so much. I could do this for hours. Oh, that didn't work. Hang on. Whoa! That one went like really high in the air. That one went at least 2 feet in the air. Let's do it one more time. It's on the floor now. That is the best gimmick ever. Even this one does it. I'm not going to lose this thing's head because it's a little bit more rare, but even this one does it. That's so much fun. But as a toy, it was definitely better than the first edition. The colors were a bit nicer, the kibble was sort of tucked away a little bit better in some areas, and the chrome was only on the chest. Head sculpt also looked a bit nicer, but it was still the concept head. Well, all the bits that I mentioned on the first edition that are concept are still concept on this toy. At least the weapons are painted this time, and the shield more closely resembles the one from the film. His articulation is about the same as the first edition one, though this time he has like deeper ankle tilts, proper heels, an actual waist joint, and thumbs that open for some reason. And his transformation is a bit more satisfying to do, with large chunks on the lower leg swinging around and folding up. Works so well. Granted, the rest of it just fold the whole guy into a ball and wrap the truck around it, but the legs make it really nice. This truck looks a little better, but the proportions I still feel are a bit off to me. I think it's the length of the bed and the width of the gas tanks throw me off. The weapon storage is about the same, and he's a little smaller than the leaders were previously, but it's still a neat mold, and I like having it around. Come 2017, we got Transformers: The Last Knight, which was not one of the movies of all time. That movie sucked. But we got 2 Knight Optimus Prime toys in Generations. Yes, ever since Age of Extinction, the movie toys were under the classification of Generations, probably to make it easier for retailers. I mean, Studio Series oftentimes are listed as TRA-GEN-SH, which stands for Transformers Generation Studio Series. Anyways, fucking Premier Edition. What a weird name for a toy line. But we got 2 Premier Edition figures. A redeco of the leader from Age of Extinction with some slight differences. No chrome. I only have this, the Coca-Cola Lucky Draw version that ended up on shelves and sat there in Asia for ages, apparently. Rust looks cool, but the truck mode, the colors don't really work at the front, but the mold itself is the same as the other leader I looked at. So on to the Voyager. This was such an interesting toy to follow that leader. It was smaller, but it had much nicer engineering to make a super cohesive robot. Like, some people debate on whether or not this new one will be better than this old one, given the size classes are price points now. And the new one will probably be more fun to transform. It comes with more stuff and have better plastic. But like, this one is still a pretty good contender and a good Studio Series scaled Optimus Prime. I only own the Nemesis movie ticket version, and the clear one I refuse to pose, but this mold is really cool. It's well detailed and painted. Well, at least this version. The regular retail release is lacking in a lot of color, but this works. Only issue is his articulation is very dated. No ankle tilts or wrist. He does have a waist, though you can store the sword in his crotch. That kind of looks hilarious. I will say though, the plastic feels almost horrible on this figure. But to a lot of people, this is the best official representation of this version of Optimus Prime. So it might be a hard competition for the new Studio Series one, but we won't know till it comes out. His transformation is a bit fiddly with the way the panels work and like the arms and all that. No copy of this mold I've had has tabbed together very well. There's always something pushing something else out of place, and I've owned this mold 3 times. But this truck mode has really small wheels and is very close to the ground. I never understood that. Weapon store is exactly the same way as the last batch. Hey, if it ain't broke, do this, I guess. These darker colors, to me, definitely fit this truck mode more than the brighter ones. So I don't know if I'm ever going to track down the regular release of this again, especially not seeing as the Studio Series one's coming out. I might just have this as my Nemesis and that as my Optimus. And that was pretty much it for Knight Prime. Since 2017, there were no new molds of this guy. There was Takara variants of the leaders that had removable backpacks to become a Dark of the Moon-esque shield, but it is a lot of the same toy that wasn't released outside of the Asian markets. Then, for reasons, we got this in 2025, T-Spark Bingo Sports Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. A tie-in with the Japanese GT Cup race and a collaboration with a large car auction website that still won't load for some reason. But yeah, they made this and based it off of the Age of Extinction design, and it's kind of funny. I made a video on this literally last week, so I'm not going to dwell on this. But with all that, we have the Studio Series one coming out, and yeah, these photos from Takara really sell me on this thing a lot more. I like it. But with all of these figures, which one is your favorite? Are you going to be getting the Studio Series one? Are you going to try and track down the Last Knight one because it looks pretty good on its own anyways? Do you like all the big leaders? Are you skeptical about the price of the new one? Will Hasbro give me my pizza party? I don't know. But let me know in the comments down below because that's always fun. But thank you very much. That has been my look at every single Age of Extinction / Last Knight Optimus Prime mold from the Generations toy line. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.